Welcome in everyone to the Challenge After Show. Tonight, Pamela and I are talking about the Challenge Season 39, Battle for a New Champion, Episode 5, Countdown to Chaos. That's right.
Countdown to Chaos.
I mean, we're just counting it down. Pamela, I got to start this off. They're eating their catered food, right? No one makes food in these houses anymore. They got their catered food. They took out the Bunsen burners, whatever. They got their catered food. And you got Asaf and Corey sitting there, right? A lot of Asaf. I'm like, something's happening with Asaf tonight. The next thing they show, Pamela, is Kieran and how he's saying that he got second place to Troy on the Challenge Australia and that he really wants to get first place. And I'm like, okay, right. Asaf, Corey, Kieran, there you go. That's something's going to happen with these guys. And it just, there you go. I mean, I know I say it every week. It's a broken record, but you know what? Glue it back together because they break the damn record every week for us. And there you go.
Dan, yes, I will say sometimes they, sprinkle it in a way that's decent and it makes sense to the story, and it's not as apparent as it doesn't. Sometimes I'm like, oh god, now that you mention it, I totally see it. This time I was like, okay, so Asaf and Corey are best friends, they love each other. Also, Asaf's on the US alliance but nobody knows, but Jay, weird alliance to be in that nobody knows are in part 2. But
I literally wrote down, I said, Jay, you might want to tell everybody how best friend and brother-like Asaf is to you, because no one seems to care that he's a part of your supposed alliance. In fact,
no one knows. He's like, but the US team doesn't know I'm a part of their alliance. And then I will say the Kieran stuff was lost on me a little bit, because at that point I was like, all right, fine. So it's Corey and Asaf that are going in. So the Kieran stuff, by the time he talked about being number 2, I thought it was just gearing up to,
I think
it's that they might, put him in, or it might be the choice for.
I'm glad they brought it up though, because it is. I never watched the Challenge Australia. We've had some of our viewers tell us how great the season is. I just honestly, I don't have the time. I barely have the time to watch this show. I'd love to go back and watch it. But Troy got first place. Apparently, he was an amazing competitor in the season we saw him in.
Oh yeah.
Troy, that was paired up with Amber.
Did he have to go home because
I don't remember. Did he have to? Amber B wasn't that the season she was pregnant on and she had to leave, but then they teamed Troy up with Casey for a little while or something. And then Casey,
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I got that one, but yeah, he stayed. I think he stayed.
Okay. Somehow. All right. Well, go.
And I got mad because I was like, man, they want anything and everything to keep Casey in this game. And of course I was mad about it.
Yeah. Casey's brother went home, but Casey was allowed to stay. Which
I know.
That was when Amber cried and said, I have to go. But I would really like Troy to stay.
Well, they teamed up Casey with someone, whatever.
You're right. Now it's all coming back to me.
Anyway, so that's all that really happens before we get to the daily challenge. But I just wanted to get your opinion on that, because I
thought it was pretty ridiculous. Because Corey's been involved in a lot of things, but Asaf has not. So for it to be this big, I love Corey, I would never put him in. It's like Corey's putting Asaf in.
It's so overkill. It's overkill for that, because I didn't even realize that they were friends. They showed them having dinner together. Oh my God. But I have a lot to say about Corey. Corey was kind of, ticking me off this episode. But we'll get into it when we get to his little scenes that are coming up.
Yeah.
But I'm going to wake you up with this tea right now, Pamela.
I've got some coffee.
When it comes to the drink it up, when it comes to this elimination tonight, I'm watching it and I'm like, something doesn't feel right about this elimination. It's just coming off weird. I mean, the big spoiler alert is that Jordan made his big appearance on the show, and I'm watching. I'm like, something's not feeling right. So I went into my bat cave and I started doing research online about why doesn't it feel right, and I got a lot of kind of sketchy stuff, but not really, but a little bit of sketchy stuff about what actually happened behind the scenes, which of course they never tell you the full thing, of course, because they can't do that. But we have an interview with Kieran that we can talk about, and just some things that he's saying about, some things that didn't rub him the right way, that production and Jordan and all this stuff that happened. So we'll get into that.
I will say,
that's the keep people around. That's my teaser. Yeah.
okay, so I will say two comments to that with two blind comments from me.
Yeah.
One, of course, part of me was like, and this is how you do it. Boom, enter Jordan. Woo! The other part of me was like, I'm watching and I still don't entirely understand why he's like what's happening.
Well,
Fair.
I won't
Understand,
spoil anything, but
but
I'll say this: like as a viewer, before when I saw Jordan come in, and I knew he was coming in, they didn't hide any of this. By the way,
right.
I was telling Jenna in my notes, I'm like, because I thought Jenna was coming tonight, but she couldn't make it. I was like, man, Jenna, why couldn't they just save this information? But social media doesn't allow us to, because that would have been a huge twist. Having Jordan or any vet come in out of nowhere. Oh my God, it would have made it so much more enjoyable. I'd be like, best season ever. I wouldn't have said that. I was because I was
Not that it
recency
was
biased.
a spoiler, Dan. It's their marketing campaign. Like for 39, it's like Kara and CT.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be their marketing campaign. I want it to just happen naturally. Damn it. Here's what I'll say though. Like, I see Jordan come in, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, there's no way production can let him lose this, right? Like, he can't come in here and lose. Like, that's not what production wants to happen. So in my head, I was thinking, production's got to do anything and everything to help him win this goddamn thing, right? And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, well, I can't wait to hear the more tea when we get to that, because I don't understand how you can fix this kind of elimination, but unless it's something I really have no idea, but
I have a couple things we can chat about at the end for sure.
Okay.
All right. So the name of the challenge of the day was Upside Down World, like okay. World, like get it, like a world.
Whirl.
It was whirling.
Right.
It was
Upside
whirling.
Down, whirled.
World, yes, but there was kind of like a play on words there, I guess. You know, the Upside Down World. It looked like a Six Flags ride to me. Somewhat interesting to watch, and definitely not the worst challenge I've ever seen. At the same time, though, very forgettable. I mean, I want to say nice things. People get so mad in the comments, Pam, when all I do is bash on the show. And then what I say is, well, look, the Challenge USA season 2, go watch that. I barely trashed on that show. I actually enjoyed it. So why can't they create something like that again, or something that's interesting to watch? Because watching this, to me, like, okay,
and you know what?
It's all right.
Fans that like MTV props given to MTV, they have their own self-produced podcast where they'll sit and go, this was a cool elimination. This is what we did. So there's an alter. We're providing an alternate.
Yeah, go if you want to go watch the official challenge podcast where they barely
where they say like, this was so cool. We had
because they're afraid to get canceled off the show because they're making mad money doing it. Yeah, or do you want the real deal and hang out with us? Right, I agree with you on that for sure.
We are here to give a dissenting opinion when we feel it, or support it when we like it. This, to me, we've seen the sort of horizontal version. This was the vertical. We've seen the horizontal recently where they're throwing rings on a thing. And again,
we did see that. They were like on a rope swing type deal.
Yeah, it was just that way.
Another one that wasn't that interesting to watch. Right.
Yeah. Also not interesting. And we realized like me these days can't do it. We discussed getting like that it would
how funny was it? They were like, oh yeah, we don't have a trailer. We got a double-decker trailer. I'm like, oh, you stacked them this time. Woohoo! Like, how many of these they have lying around? But anyways, all right.
Two, and they stacked them.
At least two. At least two. I have like no notes about this. I wrote down Corey threw like 5 on one of them at one point. I thought that was pretty impressive. Other people had some good throws. I wrote Big T was a great cheerleader for her partner because she didn't do anything. She just kind of cheered on whoever that was. I forget who her partner was. Horacio. She cheered him on. She didn't get 1 point, but she cheered on her partner. So I said, good for Big T. And that's my Big T diss for the night. We got to have a Big T diss for the night. You know, just like we have our Josh moments of the night for you. You know, I got to have my Big T diss for the night. She cheered on her partner. So there you go. That happened.
Ooh, and well, I'll save it for when it's time appropriate. But these are my only notes. Asaf and Michelle, so I can go over the teams. Colleen and Cullum, the guy that's Michelle's hooking up with, and all Colleen was like, he's really strong. He's strong. So he might be someone that looks and seems and is more strong than we're, because I'm like, what's with this guy? Who cares? But she was like, he's really strong. I mean, he's strong. he's a strong player. So I was like, all right, I
Yeah.
guess.
I think you need to also understand where that information came from. Like Colleen, she's probably a sweetheart, but like her grasp on the English language is like pretty basic. Let's be
Right.
honest. So
Strong.
her saying strong multiple times, that's probably what she
Strong.
came up with in the moment. Yes. Yeah.
Right. And he's strong. And then I really been in Corey did good. I wrote Colleen and Zara bad, or Kieran and Zara bad,
Yeah.
and Olivia okay.
It was one of
Emmanuel,
those challenges, Pam. That's all there is to it.
he
There's no.
took all the stuff. That was there's only a few people stood out if they did really bad, goose egg bad, but there was nothing, the only
You
people
know
I
what?
said,
I also found this interesting, Pam. I think it also had a lot to do with like when that, 18-wheeler or that big truck, whatever the hell it was, starts. Like what if you're in a position where when you're going by those poles, for some reason you're up and not down? Like, were they able to calculate it so every single team perfectly swung at the exact same time around the poles at that time? No,
they
it was
might have
kind of
driven, they must have driven, started at a similar point at a certain.
possibly, but there's a chance that others had a better opportunity to get closer to those poles than others just naturally with the swinging of that pendulum thing. You couldn't line it up
fair to
perfectly.
me. I mean,
What's
like,
that? Fair enough, you think?
fair to me. Yeah.
Yeah, all right,
Enough.
fair enough. Fine, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So the winner ends up being who won? Corey won, right? Yeah, Corey won because you have to choose Corey and Raven. Yeah,
Corey and
Corey and Raven win, and they're given this extra power. And this is where my I don't really like Corey's decision starts. Okay. He gets extra power with Raven. They have to select one man to send it to the arena. Okay. Now, Corey has so many options besides his American alliance. Okay. He can choose any of the UK guys besides Kieran because Raven wants to save him, right?
Right.
Okay. But instead of choosing like Callum or James, right? He decides to go with Asaph, who's supposedly in his alliance. And I was just like,
Corey, he doesn't know he's in his alliance. I mean,
I don't necessarily agree with that. My point is, though, is that Corey kind of says like, I had no choice. I'm friends with everyone here, so I got to go with Asaph. I just thought Asaph had a point where he's like, dude, you had other people you could have put in besides me, especially if supposedly they were friends. He said, dude, I met you 2 weeks ago, blah, blah, blah. But they were chummy at the table. And to me, that seemed like he had other options.
I feel like if it was a discussion, it wouldn't have been Asaf who went in. I feel like Jay would have defended him and said, look, he's on our line. He's a number for us. I genuinely think the reason they had him say the US doesn't even know I'm in the US alliance is because it's like, okay, not a USA guy. I'm friends with James and Cullum, James. Michelle's hooking up with Cullum. She doesn't want him to go. Asaf is a nice guy, but like whatever, he's not in an alliance and there's no real blowback if I pick him. I feel like it did make the most sense to me. It's like, sure, they're friendly, he's friends with a lot of people, but for him to pick a strong guy that might come back and then take the whole British alliance against him, it made sense, especially.
Well, then you might disagree with this. You might disagree with this next thing that I say, which is Zara says that she doesn't think that Corey should have been spoken to that way by Asaph. But I say, why can't Asaph be pissed off that Corey put him in there and be able to speak with him and say, hey, man, I disagree with your decision. I'm mad at you. And Zara's like, no, you don't deserve that, Corey. Well, okay, Zara, weren't you just arguing with Corey last episode? And now you're like, what, afraid to get on his bad side again? So you got to like suck up to him? Like, I didn't understand that either. So
we are on opposing sides of just having read these. It's not that I disagree with you, but I kind of read that as Asaf being a little bitch, which I just don't like when anyone's not. It's like, you're a minor rookie. You're not a USA guy. You're not in an alliance. Like, suck it up like a man. Then you're sitting and go, I don't get to compete against Jordan. It's like, I understand that in the moment he was hurt because obviously he thinks he's really great friends with Corey. But again,
that's my point.
Corey's I met you 2 weeks ago is kind of true. It's like we get along well, but like I never promised you a rose garden. Like I don't know what he's like, you're a liar. I do think it's like he was throwing so much shade and it's like a liar. I didn't promise.
Well, it's interesting because later when Michelle's talking with Corey at the club and Corey says to Michelle, like, look, I just don't know who's really there for me. Right. And I said, Corey, no one knows. You don't, I wrote down, well, Corey, I don't know who you're really there for either, though, with the way
I
that you're.
do. He's really there out loud and in truth for the USA Alliance, the official USA Alliance, which I wrote it down last week. There was no mention of Asaf. He's sort of lingering there, him and Emmanuel, but neither of them are really in it.
Well, Michelle disagrees with you, Pam, because Michelle was very upset with Corey at the club.
Michelle's upset.
If it was a partner thing, Corey, you could have chosen somebody else to, just in case, save my ass. So if you were really working with me, I'm Michelle now, then you would have, just for safety reasons, it's so early on in the game, choose someone that is not aligned with either the male or the female instead, even though supposedly was also
the other reason why I thought Michelle was a little bitch, two people in my bitch category tonight are Asaf and Michelle for sure, because I was like, what? They said, TJ said the pair that's safe because you competed as a fucking pair is blah, blah, blah. And now go pick one man. Like, it wasn't Michelle. I love Michelle, but Michelle, it's not about you. They had to pick a guy. I was not at all thinking when he was like, I did not at all consider that a girl would be in jeopardy. I was like with you on that, dude. It's a guy thing. They don't do a guy and a girl thing. I know it's chaos and anything can happen, but it seemed quite clear to me. Or again, I would have been blindsided if it was like, and then his pair too.
Okay, like, so let me ask you this, Pam. Do you buy into Corey crying? Because in the confessional, he's saying, man, Michelle's overreacting. Or what did he say? He said, Michelle's, she's overreacting, he says. And then, but in person, he cries with her. Honestly, I think Corey's a little actor. I do. I think he's an actor. I think those tears were produced by himself. I don't think he was really that upset by it either.
I think the winners, the superlative winners of tonight, the little bitches are Michelle and Asaf. And the Meryl Streep award goes to Corey and Michelle. I think Michelle will fake cry.
I agree, but I do think there was some.
What she wants. I think they really are friends and like each other. And he's like, Michelle wants tears, and so he gave it to her.
I think definitely gave her what I don't think were real tears, but I do think that Michelle, I think she had a right to be like, hey man, like, because there's no hiding this. Corey is working with Michelle and Jay. Like, we can't get away with that. That is happening. We've seen it enough. So for her to be upset and say, hey,
I was with him and believed him though, but
what's that, Pam?
But it's not. It wasn't pick a player. It wasn't pick a what. It was pick one man. They were no longer partners. They just competed that's how I totally saw it. So I really believed Corey when he was like, I didn't even think about it because I didn't at all either. I was like, the fuck's Michelle upset about?
It's really early on though in the game, and to not think about little things when you like, maybe it's just us because we watch the show so much and we know there's going to be these twists and turns, Pam, but that's on Corey to realize, hey, just in case I can pick a guy. No, TJ told me to pick a guy. But just in case, let me make sure and pick someone else, another guy with another girl that's not associated with my alliance, just in case. I know, because it's early on. And the last thing you need to do early on is to lose a member of your alliance. Look at the UK boys now. Now that Kieran, thank God he's gone because I can't pronounce his damn name. Kieran Culkin, I'm thinking. Kieran's gone. Their alliance was already small to begin with, Pam. That's bad news for them.
That's where I feel like, sorry, I'm transiting.
Yeah. Switch over to your other internet quickly. I'm going to hold right here. Let's let it ride out and see if she comes back on.
Hi. Oh, okay, good.
I waited. I was like,
I switched.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, I'm not editing tonight.
To better. As she says, switched, so it should be better now. Okay.
Better Wi-Fi.
Sorry. I switched to better Wi-Fi. I made the change. Where were we counted? Oh, again, when we'll get to it with the elimination, but I feel like production wouldn't want Kellum to go because he's a big deal on the show. He's the kind of the best of the British Alliance, and he's got a showman's. Like, it's weird that they would want him gone too. So we'll have to
What?
get
Wait, why are you bringing Cal? What is?
not
Because
Callum, Kieran.
well, Kieran Showmance isn't as good as Callum's, but I hear you on that. And I didn't
There
want
is.
look. I didn't want Kieran to go either, but I was still rooting for Jordan the whole time. It
Me
was
too.
weird,
And I
right?
do think Kieran's a jerk too. He's like, he's not, and he doesn't seem nice at all. Maybe he is, maybe he just is.
I
He's
mean, he
not
definitely
the
showed some.
Raven who he's hooking up with, like
He definitely doesn't care about Raven. He did
at
show some
all.
emotion when he lost, though, Pam. Like those seem to be real tears. He was
Cares
upset
about
about losing.
himself, but that doesn't mean he's a nice person. I mean,
But
yes,
I honestly think he was mostly upset because he didn't feel it was fair what was happening during that elimination.
I'm willing to engage in all that conspiracy when we get there.
For sure. Okay.
So yeah, I don't understand though why, which I need you to explain to me, when they were like, well, Corey laid out that he really has the international people's backs. It's like, why? Whose backs does he have?
Who said that? Who said those words?
Kind of everybody. He was like, I'll when he was talking to Hulk, he's like, yeah, now I feel like a man on an island. Like,
look, again, I think Corey is totally fine working with either side that will accept him. He said he's friends with everybody in the house. So I get he's working with the Americans, but I don't trust Corey at all. I think this dude would have no issue swapping back and forth between whatever alliance is doing well. He was talking with James. He had a great conversation with James by the pool.
That's what I'm talking about.
Man, I like what James has to say now. So I wouldn't trust Corey in my alliance. I'm like, dude, at drop of a hat, you go to the other side, no problem if they're doing better one week than us. So
he didn't go to the other side.
I didn't say he did. I said he would. He doesn't have an issue. Whoever's going to help him get to the next level, he's going to flip flop.
And at this point, it would behoove him to stick with the U.S. alliance, which is quite large and strong. So I don't understand. I think I guess you don't understand either. People were saying like, yeah, Corey really showed his card. He has the international guys' backs.
But how about this though? Corey's all in the house, like mad that people won't talk to him, and he's
right,
like,
"His own alliance wouldn't talk to him."
That's my point. I'm like, Corey, if you don't make that decision, then if you don't want
he didn't even know Asaf was in his alliance.
I disagree. See, but that's your whole premise of saying that, Pam. I don't agree.
Asaf said it. I'm gonna like play with the tip. He's like,
what did Asaf say?
He said, I'm best friends with Jay. I'm kind of in the U.S. alliance. Even the USA team doesn't know I'm in their alliance. Like that alliance isn't aware that he's in their alliance. So it's like, how do you protect someone when you don't know they're in your alliance? We have to get more information on that. But I feel like Emmanuel was the next closest thing that he could have said. But Emmanuel's more on the periphery of that alliance.
Why is Emmanuel even? I don't even understand why Emmanuel is in that alliance.
Season together.
I know that's why.
Together, so that's how they all know each other. So why is Colleen in that alliance? I don't know.
Well, Colleen's really. Colleen is so far, she's underneath the ground of the totem pole. She's not even on it.
Asaf's a member that people don't know is a member of the alliance. So again, Jay might have his back, and Jay's a big part of the alliance, but on an instant thing when you don't get to discuss it with the alliance, he's not enough of a member that I don't think he would betray his alliance on purpose at all. I think, yes, he's a friend of the alliance, but it doesn't, I don't think he's officially again, I have to I'm literally going to look for the clip.
Yeah, I would love to know in the comment section from people, do you think the American alliance knew Asaf was in their alliance or not? Like I remember Jay saying like Asaf's like my brother, but no one knows it. So maybe there is some truth to that, Pam, but I swear I thought that Asaf was in that alliance because where else would he be?
He's not officially in the alliance.
The dude appeared on Are You the One way back in the day. He did a season of the challenge or two before this, and now he's back for his third try on the challenge. He's obviously not in the UK alliance. He's got to be somewhere. That's why I assumed he was there.
This is from Medium by Alan Aguiar, who I follow on Twitter and is great and wonderful, and everyone should follow him. But he says, if you prefer to notes on first, let's get here to where Corey and Raven dominated the challenge. Corey versus Asaf. Okay, with all American men off the board and Raven protecting Kieran due to their showmance, it came down to Emmanuel and Asaf.
That's
Corey
not true.
Protected Emmanuel on the sheer basis that they did SLA together. In the end, Corey picked Asaf because he didn't think Asaf brought much to the table besides his loyalty. Loyalty is important, yet for Corey, it didn't matter if Asaf didn't have the numbers or the ability to win challenges and Open. Doesn't address what we need to know. Yeah,
he
we
protected
need to know.
2 UK guys as well. He protected James and Callum. Let's not forget that.
Yes, they weren't right.
So whoever that guy is, I'm just wondering why he didn't mention that there's actually 4 people he could have chose from.
I don't know.
All right,
okay.
Whatever.
We're gonna have to deeper dive into this, but I do feel like Corey's not really in the wrong if he didn't know, was unaware if Asaf is a secret alliance member.
If that's true, right?
It seems like he
is. Let's move on. Nominations is not deliberation anymore, Pam. It's now nominations that they have to go, and they got to pick another guy to supposedly go against Asaf.
Wait, I'm club time. You skipped the club.
Oh my God, I can't skip club time. Okay, sorry. Let's do this. This is the first time we're seeing Horacio and Nerys. That is finally starting to happen.
Yeah.
Someone warns Horacio that Nerys is a party girl, and I'm like, I don't think Horacio is trying to wife someone up right now, Jay. Like so let him have
aren't they? They're like the new school. Like Jay at this point. Like I love Jay, and I will. Jay props. You gotta hug him and hit him. My props to Jay is I'm really glad because I think Jay's really smart and strategic, and I'm really glad to get to see him in a leadership position. Jay's gained 10 years in the past 3 seasons he's been in. Like poor Jay is not now I feel like Jay is like Horacio's dad, like age wise. He's not really. I know Jay is probably in his early to mid to something 30s, but
we got some real moments though. Horacio in his confessional, that was a real moment where production asked him a question about Nerys and he started to blush. And that was a real moment. That was not an acting thing. And it was really great to see when you get, 3 or 4 or 5 seconds of just someone actually being real, God forbid, on reality TV. It just takes me back to a time where it's like, thank you. Like, how about when Diem really loved CT back in the day on the challenge and she was giving real emotions there and CT back to her? You just don't see that stuff anymore. It just doesn't work that way, especially with social media. It's just not real anymore. And gosh, it was just so refreshing to see him in that confessional saying those things the way he was. It took me into the moment finally. It's like, oh, I'm enjoying this.
I'm like, okay, he's crushing on her. That's where I agree with you 1,000,000%. And I think that's why those people, when they do come along these days, are unicorn once in a blue moons, like Horacio and Ed, who just are sincere.
Yes.
And it reads on camera. Like I have the chill. See, I love it.
And you know what?
Yeah, and we feel it, and they win our hearts. Those are the people that really win our hearts.
And here's the thing too about it. It's like we finally see two characters come together, and obviously he seems to like her. We don't know Nerys' side yet, but if this was back in 2005, we would have no idea that where that relationship's about to go. Right now. Because of social media, we already know. Oh, spoiler alert! Yeah, don't put it on mute for 5 seconds. They're together right now. We already know they're together.
City Hall, Dan. You can't fight City Hall as much as I can. I mean, you could not be on social media,
but wouldn't you be more excited to watch next week's episode and be like, "Ooh, let's see where this goes"? But now we don't need to. We know where they're going to end up.
I'm still excited because I think I'm still very excited because. I feel like she put them. I liked I liked everything about that. I liked Olivia, I believe it was like, usually you think if there's chemistry, it'll be there. Like these two know each other. It's not, but that it grew. It was a slow burn that they weren't
nothing wrong with that. I'm all for
I think
that.
It's much better. It's like, wait a second.
And I am, Pam. There is obviously some excitement to see how they get to where they are today. Yeah. But there's I love,
and I do think she's a bad girl and he's a good boy. So
there's that too.
Yeah, I don't know about party girl, what that even means with this, but I do think he's a nice guy, and I like her a lot, but I wouldn't describe her as sweet and nice. She's a ballsy, great girl.
But
she's
to me,
they'll complement each other well.
To me, party girl means she hooks up with dudes every week when she parties and stuff. Maybe she does. I don't know anything about that with her, but I don't see her as that type of person. I get it. She likes she hooked up with Johnny.
Is that she's a player? Is that
Then
what
she liked Jordan, and then she went back to Johnny, and now she's single again apparently and likes Horacio. But like
that's Jay's old man way of calling her a slut. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I just don't see her
girl.
that way though. Like, okay, she likes to party. Okay.
She's like 22. I feel like she's like what the fuck else is she going to be supposed to be doing surgery? Like she's a reality star. I don't know. I say
like it just. I was
get
like,
off my TV, Raven. I'm talking to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. When Jay said party girl, I was like, who cares? Like, what does it matter?
It almost seems dated. I mean, it's almost like she's slutty. Like it's like
right, but I just don't see her as like a slutty person. So like I was like, whatever, Jay. But anyways, we can move on. I'm excited to see where it goes, I guess.
I like also, I sound like I'm getting down on Jay, and I actually appreciate all these Jayisms because I think it's sweet and cute. And it does show a little bit of age disparity, but I thought it was fine. I wasn't mad at him about that. It's just like, okay, mister,
I don't know. I see Jay like trying to be like a vet on the show now, and I'm just like, dude, you'll never be a vet to me, so just stop trying to be a vet and act like you like got this game figured out and you got all these strategies. Bro, your American alliance is falling apart at the what? What's that term? Falling apart at the shoulders, at the seams.
The seams.
Like, shoulders, seams, whatever.
Shoulders, seams.
Whatever. It's not it's falling apart, dude. So what do you? He's acting like he has it all figured out, and I just don't think he does.
So, I feel like, and I guess thank you because you're helping me articulate what I was sort of trying to say before, which is that Jay is the age of the vets, but he's not been a vet.
Yeah.
So, and again, not to like age shade this seems, but I'm actually happy this is getting to a positive place to see him be able to be in a leadership role with these rookies, because usually with the vets, he's like, oh, yes, mister, even though he is their peer to some extent, he's not a challenge champ. He hasn't been doing this. He came from the CBS family pre-merger, not an MTV, classic.
Yeah.
I like Jay and believe in him and think that if he had come up with all those guys, he would have be a challenge champ at some point if he'd been doing this with them for 20 years. And I'd like him to get a shot even with the odds against him. I don't think he's going to win, but I wouldn't be mad at all if he did. I like him. I do think he's got good strategy. He doesn't underestimate people, which I think is good.
Yeah.
And I'm here to see him take a leadership role because he doesn't get to with the vets. But I do think and same with Michelle. I think Michelle is in the same position. She's not as good, I think, as some of the vets and hasn't come up with them, but she is on par with a lot of them, age-wise, smart-wise.
It's funny because I follow Zach, our best buddy Zach, on Instagram because he has his own podcast now, and him and this other guy talk about the show, and he called like Emmanuel like a poor man's Jordan, like because whatever. And then I was thinking like Jay and Michelle, they're like poor people versions of vets to me. Like they're
right,
not.
But who?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is though, they're just not as amazing as the old vets are.
They're not as amazing as the old vets, but they have something to bring at least. So I'm giving them that. They bring something to the table. And I also think, how we wish we didn't know the end of. I wish I didn't know Zach. Like I like to mentally. What's the reverse of canceling? Like personally canceling. Like Zach's out there and I can't stop that. But I will like give nothing to that. So like,
right, but you don't follow him, so you don't have to see him. You do his thing.
Still, he creeps into the zeitgeist of my mind.
Well, I just brought, that's my fault apparently this time. Hey, so I did want to bring up one more thing that happened at the club. Did you understand what was going on with Big T?
No. Did something going on with Big T?
Yeah, she said that she has a crush on Kylan now.
What?
I swear this happened. It was very brief, but she said she liked Kylan, and I don't think she was saying like I like him as a friend, right? And I'm like, oh, didn't we just have a coming out party for her last week?
Kind of a threesome with Kylan and Melissa?
Melissa, maybe. I don't know. But my point is, I know it happened. I swear that this happened. I just wrote down Oh, Big T likes Kylan now. Okay.
Someone has to get to the bottom of this with us, because I have no recollection of that. I have no interpretation
Please,
for
in the
that.
comment section below, maybe I'm just seeing things or hearing things, but
I mean, or maybe she was just saying like, I like him, or like,
I thought it was more than just
I
a
like
friendly
you,
thing.
Dan. I like you.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like that, I swear. But anyways,
Okay.
tell us about that. Again, moving on. Just a little thing I noticed there. I thought I noticed nominations. Okay, we talk about this all the time. All right, I'm still waiting for someone to come back after they call out somebody and say, when I come back, I'm taking you out because you told me that you're putting me out. So now maybe we'll finally see it, because Aesop is so mad at Corey. He's like, when I get back in this house, I'm taking you out, Corey. We never get to see it happen, though, right?
I hope it happens.
It never happens. Everyone always calls, you put me in. Guess what? When I come back, I'm putting you in. Even when they do come back, they never get to that person and actually get them down there. I want to see it. Can it finally happen?
I want to see it. And MTV, this has been served to on a silver platter. Corey's like, then win a daily and vote me in. Like it literally couldn't be more like, you're stupid. I'm going to get you. Win a daily, vote me in. Boom. I hope it happens.
I hope it does too. There's no way Aesop's not winning daily, though. He's just not gonna. If he does, though, I can't wait for him to just be like, Corey, I want him to win. I honestly am rooting for Aesop. I'm not even a fan of the guy. He's fine. He's there. I'm not like, oh, this guy's so great for the challenge. Let him win next week. Let's let this dude win next week. I want to hear him put Corey down there. Like, because Corey's walking around all tough and shit. Like, I want to see him in the passenger seat now, having to deal with Aesop being in the driver's seat. I really do.
I started off this season liking. You're making me say Aesop now instead of Asaf.
Asaf. Sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing.
Like Asaf. But now I've gone the other direction, and I'm team Corey, and I didn't like Corey, and now I'm like, yeah, Corey, you be your little bitchy self and get him. I feel like
that's the weird thing, though, to me.
Like that.
Last episode, I was really feeling the bitchiness of Corey when he was calling out people.
Yeah.
Now I'm upset with him this episode, but I know damn well there's an episode coming up where he calls out Big T and Melissa, and I got a good damn feeling that I'm going to love him again. So
yeah,
I
don't know what that's about. I know that they're having, and again, I try, if I haven't seen it yet, I try and go back, and I know that there was social drama with those three last week. I don't know what caused it or what it is. Right now, they all seem cool. So I'm going to wait to dive into that. I try and curate my social media to my what I know from the show, and not get too much information surrounding it that it takes away from enjoying the episodes.
I got to bring this up, Pam. The next scene that we see is Kieran and Raven talking on the bed. And Raven just randomly starts talking about Jordan. Now, God damn it. Could it be producer influence because they know Jordan's coming? Like, hey, Raven, can you bring up? I don't know. But like, if it naturally happened, what a catch and what a call from the producer.
It naturally happened because he said Horacio is that if people want to get rid of it did sort of organically happen.
I hope so.
Jordan was saying, if it was me, I'd put in the best two people. And I think that's Horacio and myself. That's not in there.
Then then Raven brings up Jordan.
And Raven says, well, Horacio beat Jordan. And
right.
Jordan says, who's Jordan?
Yes.
And
the fact that he doesn't know who Jordan is, I'm like, bro, prepare yourself for the show.
Your own petard.
Do some research. Why aren't people? If I was ever to appear on a reality show, like if they're like, "Hey Dan, you want to be on Survivor?" First of all, I'd probably say no. Second of all, if I did for some reason decide to do it, I would do some research on the
champion winner of Survivor.
I don't even watch Survivor, but I know damn well Johnny Fairplay was on Survivor back in the day, and he made up that whole thing about his. Was it about his mom or his grandma?
Because you're watching the.
No, I knew it before. No way. I knew who Johnny Fairplay was before he went on House of Villains. I promise you, I wouldn't lie about that. And by the way, did you watch the latest episode of House of Villains?
Excited. I'll watch it when we're done. But
I don't know. People are saying I'm overhyping it. I don't know where I'm overhyping it.
I mean, I like it, but I don't like it as much as you do. I like
this next episode is so damn good. Again, it's episode after episode is so fun to watch.
The only Survivor person in the whole. It is fun to watch. I enjoy it. Listen, I'm the overhyping it. I listen. I like it, but I'm not like, oh my god, it's a bit better. Like it's fun.
I get so excited to watch every week. I really do.
I like it. The only Survivor person I knew about was the guy who like won and didn't declare taxes. I think his name was Richard Hatch, and I think it was like the first season.
I remember that one too. But yeah,
Just
that's, I mean, I only know Johnny Fairplay. That's all I know.
I mean, I don't know Richard Hatch. Like if he walked into this room, I wouldn't be like, you are Richard Hatch. But I know the name because it was like the moral for reality TV people of the story is like, we will get your tax money. You better declare it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pay
it. Okay. This is all good stuff here.
Okay.
Let's can we get to this elimination? We have so much to talk about. It's gonna take like 30 minutes to talk about this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. We get to this elimination. There's the big announcement that one of the two guys are in there, but in order to be a champion, you got to beat a champion. That's what TJ says, So Jordan comes out. Everyone was shocked. I mean, I was excited to see how they were going to do this. I was like, is someone else going to join Jordan and they're both going to go against Jordan and another vet? Like, is it going to be 2v2? And then they make it that classic things. My God, Pamela, where it's the choose from a thing that can easily be manipulated by production, and we'll never know if it wasn't Kieran's name on all three of those damn things. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it was Asaf, but they do tease, Pamela, that if they didn't pick Asaf or Kieran's name, there's a third option. We don't know yet. We'll find out later in the season, hopefully.
That is exciting, though.
If it's true, they might be just saving it for later, and they had Kieran's name on all three of them, or maybe Asaf's name on 2 and Kieran's name on 1, and they didn't care. So who knows what's going to happen with that? No guarantees that it was fairly put down there. And you know what? The amount of reading that I'm doing in the comment section of people, it's not just me that thinks there's a lot of conspiracies going on. There are plenty of people like pissed off, like blah, blah, blah.
I'm here to receive. What is the story?
Okay. So apparently there were not 3 rounds. Apparently there were 5 rounds.
Okay.
And production decided to edit the living hell out of them to get them to look as good as possible. Overall, Jordan did win. Okay. He won 3-2 against Kieran. Kieran admitted that in an interview today that Jordan did win. Now,
so there's no controversy about did Jordan win?
Jordan technically won. He won 3 games to 2. However, was it a fair win? And of course, like we said, Wes came on our goddamn show and said it. Hey, look, in a final, things are going to get manipulated. Things are going to happen that might not be fair, and someone's going to win. And you know what? Production is going to do what they have to do to make this reality show interesting. Right. And you know what? I don't think it back in the day, though, Pamela, in 2005, that they had to manipulate or do the things that they have to do to make this interesting like they do now.
So first, let's break it down to me. Let's pretend.
Yeah.
To this. Let's pretend I don't understand exactly how the game was played. So you've got 2 things.
Buttons on both sides, and when the buttons go off, it's basically whoever hits it first. It's a great game. The game is great.
Do you have colored buttons? Like you're a blue button and I'm an orange button?
Yeah, I don't know why they had colors on either side. They were different.
Whoever hits the lit button first. There's not like hit your opponent.
It didn't matter. Yeah, the colors did not matter. It was like
they're racing for the same thing every time.
Correct. And the idea of this, Pamela, this elimination, it's an awesome elimination. Yeah. I love this elimination. I love the idea of you have to climb up a hill. Like it's not just a straight line to just hit it. You have to climb up the hill. Now, do you remember the point in the game where Jordan decided to let him have 2 points?
Yes, which again, he's like, let him have them, Teach. Let him have them. I was like,
do you know why he did that? Jordan apparently, this is all online. He was
faking him out in the beginning. I mean, it looked like with the editing that Jordan was he looked like Jordan hustled him. In the beginning, he was kind of letting him.
This is all editing too, Pamela. My point is, though,
because Kieran said like he doesn't want it as much as I do. See, and it's like anyone who knows Jordan knows.
This is just what people are saying online. Okay? Apparently, Jordan was unhappy with the footwear he was wearing and demanded from production that they allow him to change his shoes before he continues. So that is why he didn't necessarily let Kieran have those points. He was trying to stalemate production and say, I'm not going to compete the rest of the way until you let me change out my shoes. Okay. Someone online said that production did let him change out his shoes, but that's not true, because if you watch when they came back from whatever hissy fit, that's what Kieran said in an interview. Someone, he said he wasn't allowed to say, he's like, yeah, people were throwing hissy fits so they could get their way. Jordan actually ended up taking off his shoes and did the rest of the challenge in his socks. So if you look, he's not wearing different shoes. Now, I'm not saying he got any advantage from wearing his socks, but he did throw a hissy
much
fit.
less, no traction.
That's what I would think too.
I would rather be barefoot.
Jordan was apparently that upset that he took it, that he didn't want to perform. And then production actually, props to production, supposedly they did not give in to this type of behavior.
Although,
and then
I don't know, if you were like ice skating or you're doing something like that, and like if you've got an ill-fitting, like if that'll fuck you up, like not wearing, if you've got the wrong shoes.
Okay, so maybe it was a benefit, my point is, to him being allowed to take off his shoes and then just wear the socks.
Shoes didn't fit. If he could bring his own shoes.
Why the hell is Jordan wearing shoes that don't fit?
I mean, they might have just given him shoes or whatever. I don't know. I'm going to have to.
I'm just saying, there's a lot that was happening behind the scenes. And here's the one that I do think is a little more, the production was trying to lean toward helping out Jordan. This was a timed event. So, obviously we saw the time. Okay. And on a few of the eliminations, when Jordan went up on Kieran, right? Jordan made a really, really fantastic move. He would get to the top of the hill and he'd wait because time is going, right? He'd wait till Kieran got to the top and then he tapped the button to give himself another point. Therefore, running more time off that clock while he's already ahead to get this thing to be done with.
Yeah.
However, Kieran claims, and this is in an interview with Kieran claims that when he tried that same move, he would wait for Jordan to get to him and he wouldn't press the button, but magically the button would go off without him even touching it, so that Jordan had a better chance later on in the game to leave more time on the clock where he could get back.
Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to.
So the button was, he was waiting. He would not press the button, and he was waiting for Jordan to come to him and let time run out when he was ahead in the game, or just when he wanted to run the time more. But then the button would magically go off without him touching it. He would get that point, but he wasn't able to run the clock as much as Jordan was. That's just something that I
have no idea.
Again,
where can one listen to this interview with Kieran?
I found it on one of the Instagram posts because I follow all the challenge after show stuff. No, that I sent you I did send you one, but that wasn't the one I sent you. But then I had to go to Twitter because they just tagged the name.
Okay.
So I had to go to X, and I went there. Who's ever going to start calling? Is anyone ever going to call it X? Well, come on. Like I really like Elon Musk. I think he's doing a lot of cool things, but like you don't like, we definitely differ on a lot of stuff in life. That's okay. But
listen,
but the one of the things I don't like is, hey man, why change the brand? I don't like when people change the brand, like Sierra Mist. Sierra Mist, they changed their brand to but it's the same damn thing, but they don't call it Sierra Mist anymore.
What is it now?
It's called, they do a ton of commercials for it during NBA games. I'll look up Sierra Mist new name. Because they don't refer to it as that anymore. Starry, Starry. It's now Starry. They rebranded. It's all garbage. Anyways.
Sierra Mist is a great name though too, and Starry is like a little child's puppy's name.
They're trying. I think they're trying to get the younger demographic that like Starry's cool. Like Starry. Like think about it now. Like, are people drinking Gatorade or Powerade, or are they drinking Prime? Like kids are going over.
Starry sounds like literally like a baby's doll. Like Starry and Ducky and I.
Look, I agree. I think it's a dumb name. I'm not for it. I'm just saying they're trying to rebrand, and now Elon Musk. That's the one thing I don't agree with. I don't like that he's going to X. I think it's dumb. Anyways, it's on Twitter. I'll send it to you. It's not a problem.
Okay, send it to me. So I ultimately feel like Jordan is a badass. Jordan's a champ.
Because and Pamela, you're exactly right, Pam. The edit made it seem that way, that it wasn't as close, even though it did seem pretty close to the edit. I love the whole storyline.
But of course,
I thought it was fantastic. if everything happened the way it happened, Pam, I loved everything about it. I loved that Jordan won. It was fantastic to watch. It was the most exciting part of the episode. But then you hear all this other stuff. There was a lot of looking off camera too, Pam. Like while they were doing it, the contestants look off camera to production, and I was like, man, something's not right here. What's
I'm gonna have
going
to
on?
rewatch it. But I
Yeah,
feel like
definitely.
it doesn't sound like production gave in to his shoe demand. Like that's what
I
I'm
do
saying.
love that. Yeah.
It's not like it doesn't sound like production was rigging it in his favor per se.
But I do think that production wanted him to win. However, I'll give you this. No one can, like Kieran is said he couldn't tell. Like they asked him in the interview, hey, so then what happened? Why wasn't it fair? Because you heard Kieran say at the end of the elimination, this is bullshit. Like he was clearly feeling that it was unfair.
Yeah.
But apparently, is he not allowed to talk about it? I don't know. Is he nervous about not getting recast on another show because honestly, he wants to make more money through the challenge? I think that has something to do with it. So yeah,
Sure.
Kieran, if you really had an issue with it, bro, because clearly some things didn't go your way. However, you did say on the interview that Jordan won. So, bro, come out with the rest of the goods. But they never do, Pam, and that's my issue with it too.
They do if they don't want to be on the show again. But if they want to be on the show again, they don't. So clearly,
and he won't tell us the rest of the supposed tea.
Well, what I think Pam. I also felt bad for, even though I think he's a jerk, Kieran, and I felt bad for him because this is bullshit is like I shouldn't even be here. Like it's like I did good. I didn't lose the thing. I wasn't picked. Like why the fuck am I even here? Because you fucking pulled my name out of a sled or whatever. I feel like I'd be like, this is bullshit too. If like you were sitting pretty and then in a matter of hours, you're going home.
If I was Kieran, I would have said, Asaf seems to really want to go in.
Asaf really wants to go in.
He wants it.
Really wants to. So does Emmanuel, apparently. Like, you guys, I'll go ahead.
I think that Jordan would have had a much easier time against Asaf. I don't know why I feel that way, because I think Asaf's probably...
Yeah, Kieran's the strongest guy on that other side.
I think production, like, if they're trying to rig it, wouldn't they just put Asaf's name on all three of those things too? So, like, that kind of goes against my conspiracy of them trying to line up certain things. I don't know. It's hard to say. It really is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't really know. I mean, I think they might, do certain things in people's favors or whatever, but I don't think they're straight up rigging it. I don't know. We'll have to speak to someone that is an ex-challenge competitor and will never again, is resigned forever, and will tell us all the real dirt, because
I know. And I know people are trying to read things on the internet. There's so much to go through. I went through about probably 10% of it, but I really did a lot of research today. Like in between my breaks on my job, I was like, I got to find more tea for tonight. But please, in the comment section, tell us what else you know, because there's a lot of information out there. Who knows what's right? Who knows what's wrong? Who knows what's real and all that stuff? And I'm just interested. But look, if we take it for what it is and we put all those conspiracies aside, Pamela, I thought this elimination was absolutely amazing. It was so fun to watch. Some of the preachy shit from Jordan was a little awkward on the before end and the after, that was a little much for me. If I'm going with storyline, it really pissed me off when Emmanuel turned his back to him. However, if Emmanuel really felt like it was unfair and Jordan won unfairly, maybe that's why he did it, but it still pissed me off. When Jordan gave his speech about being a true challenger, Emmanuel did this.
Oh, really?
He didn't want to listen to what Jordan had to say. And I said, F you, Emmanuel. It really pissed me off. I dressed up for you as Halloween man, bro. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you can only be called the poor man's Jordan so much and then have to listen to the man.
Well, Emmanuel said he wanted to take on Jordan. Jordan's like, maybe you'll get the chance, dude. I'm sorry, but I would take Jordan any day in that one too.
Oh yeah, me too. But that's personal beef. Whatever. I still like.
Because the Tory stuff, you think?
Yes, of course they have. Yeah. So I again here for it. I don't know. I love Jordan. I'll have to dive into the saga, but to me, I was like, Jordan's the master. Can't beat him. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to look at my notes, see if I had anything else written down throughout the elimination. I mean, obviously, I was just super into it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, look, when it comes down to it, with all the people complaining about conspiracies online, Kieran admitted in an interview post-production that he was just doing on Twitter, or where they put it on Twitter, I don't know where it originally aired, that he admitted that Jordan did win. So
Right. So Jordan did win. He's just saying he was a little bitch and there was things that made it maybe easier for him. And allegedly the thing didn't go off.
right. And to go back with what Wes says, sorry, hey, look, this is the challenge. It's like anything, when you're in the NBA.
First. It's a TV show first.
It's a TV show first. Like, I'll compare it to like the NBA. If you're like a two-time NBA champion and someone maybe touches your arm wrong, you'll get called for the foul. If you're a rookie playing for the first time, someone could slam you to the ground. The ref might not call anything. All right. You got to earn your time on the challenge. And Jordan clearly has.
Who do I love that got all the money stolen from him? Like, what's his cute little name that I love? That's Wrist. Oh my God. He's like, Ashley stole the money.
Oh, Hunter.
It's like anything can happen. Like, it's not fair. Poor Hunter.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
but I mean,
their light got buzzed or something, but it's like, yeah, they also probably are on a timer thing. I don't know.
But Pam, I think it's going to be so interesting for the three of us to watch the rest of this season when all these challenge champs come in, because some of them are going to have to lose. But I just don't think production wanted Jordan, especially when it's the first guy coming in or girl coming in, that Jordan is their new, I don't want to say he's their new bananas because he's not, but he is one of their golden boys. And really don't, they didn't want him to lose. And I do think that they wanted to help him out as much as possible.
I do, but I think it would have been a more compelling. I don't know. I think sure. It's great for Jordan to win because he's the best and stuff, but it would have been a great person. I don't know. We'll see. Remains to be seen what happens with
I mean, look,
none of these people are as good as the champion. So it's hard. It's like,
yeah, I mean, but eliminations are also so, chancy. So anyone can win on a given night. But I was definitely excited to see Jordan get the win. It's weird because I'm rooting for him the whole time. And I'm like, okay, I'm rooting for Jordan to win and then leave the show for the entire rest of the season, most likely. Yeah. I don't know. That's it, I guess.
I mean, $10,000, go. It's all in a hard day's night.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed that we got the shout out to Jordan beating Josh in tug of war. One of my favorite moments of all time. So,
well, that is, and that is unfortunately or fortunately what the show has to do now to kind of keep interest is kind of give us those nostalgic shots. Right. It's kind of like what the Challenge All-Stars does. They show us a bunch of nostalgia from the early 2000s and we love it. Yes. So they're kind of bringing it over to their main show now too, because they realize it's just not the same as it used to be. Even looking back at that one where Jordan beat Josh and where Jordan was doing the sledgehammer, like you're looking at like season like 25 or something like that. And I'm like, man, I didn't join the challenge with you girls on AfterBuzz TV until I think season 32.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I was with you girls till 32, and like 32, 33, and 34 were still great.
Yeah.
And then when it became 35, 36, 37, 38, that's where it was like those were, but like even 32, 33, and 34, I remember like still really enjoying those seasons and getting to go to AfterBuzz every week and to have
Tara
people,
and Kyle and Paulie, like such drama was going on.
And Jordan, it was so good still for those seasons that we were still there for. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so good.
Yep. Anyways, all right. Do you have any final thoughts on this episode? I think that we did a very nice job summing up. Realize I'm actually into it. I'm into this episode.
I'm into it.
I'm good. I'm ready to watch more.
I like it. You've left me with a lot of food for
thought.
I'm gonna deep dive now into this stuff.
Yes. And like we can talk more about it next week for sure. I'm in on this. I'm excited. They didn't tease who shows up next week. I like that. We don't know who it's going to be. There was a little bit of drama between Nerys and someone, and maybe the Daily Challenge. That could be fun. I mean, look, I'm ready for it. I'm excited, and I'm excited to see where they go with Nerys.
And I do. I'm really liking it. I was like, fuck, the first episode. Like, this is why we don't want all these new people we don't care about. But
Look,
now
they're
I'm excited. We still have Cara in a scene, so
yep. We're back to an hour. I mean, an hour and a half episode. It's better than that. To do two episodes last week was like that's too much. This is okay. I can fast forward the commercials. I can get through it. But again, like I
you
said,
know what, I have a conspiracy. Maybe it was Thanksgiving. Maybe there's not an episode. Oh, well, they're on Wednesdays.
someone in our comment section said they were trying to get the episodes in before the holiday break. But next week will be Thanksgiving. So, or no, it'll air the night before
the night
Thanksgiving.
before. So maybe we can do it early. You and I will talk. But then,
yeah, well, it'll air Wednesday. Yeah, we'll have to kind of probably do it.
Watch it early in California and would do the episode. Depends what time.
What, Thanksgiving morning you want to do it? I guess I could.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
I don't have anything going on.
I'll have anything going on.
Not in the morning, at least. No, I don't have anything going on in the morning. All right,
all
yeah,
right, we'll
I'll
discuss.
that.
And thank you guys. We love you. Let us know what you think about Jordan, Karen, all that stuff, and give us a hashtag thumbs up or thumbs down if you're liking the season so far, because I think we're hashtag thumbs up.
Yeah, well, don't give us the thumbs down on the thing. Do it in
the
comment section.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. You can just say, I'm enjoying it.
Right. All right. Well, for Dan and Pam, we will see y'all very soon for the challenge, season 39. All right. Bye.
Bye, guys.